Hello, Fish here with another BMS video. In this video we're going to look at the SOP for lofting that we use at the Ghosts, and I'm going to go through this using the Fish Balkan 008 training mission, and it's in your mission pack, and it's a 2-ship. Okay, so let's briefly look at the lofting attack checklist. So first of all, the target must be pre-assigned at briefing. So we're going to just open the mission here and pause. I'm going to zoom in to see what our target is. So it's the CRITS early warning radar, and we can see if we look at our data cartridge that I've got some targets pre-assigned. Got 97, 98 and 99. So we need to note the on and off target heading for re-attack, and the way I do this is by looking at my weapons delivery planner. We can see that we're coming off the target, we're heading to the target between 6 and 7, so 6 is the IP. And if we look at 7 here, our heading towards 7 is 089. So the off heading is going to be 269, and I've put that on our knee board. Okay, we can't use smart or high drag munitions, for instance the Mark 82 airs or GBUs. We're going to have to be in air to ground mode. We set the profile, arming delay and ripple number, release type. Set the radar altimeter on the sensor power panel, and the altimeter set to radar on the sensor panel as well. We're going to set our allow altitude to be 100 from the ICP2, 100 feet. And we need to set our HSD to center mode and our range to 10 miles. Mode is going to be CCRP. We need to put our master arm on. And for single, which is what we're going to do on this run, we're going to set our initial pylon opposite to the egress turn. So in this case, we're going to be taking a starboard turn. We're going to be ingressing at 089 and returning at 269. We're going to be setting our left pylon to release first. So our port pylon will release first, and that's it. That's by default. But you use a missile step switch. If we were turning to the left, we'd use the opposite. And the reason why is because the extra load is being carried by the right hand wing, and that helps us into the turn rather than works against us. In multiplayer, we would need to be in trail formation by the time we hit 20 miles from target, and in this case we'd need to be in trail by the IP, which is steer 6. We also need to be in trail by between 1/2 and 1 mile using the yardstick. Ingress parameters are going to be briefed between 100 and 500 AGL and 450 to 500 knots. In this case we're going to brief at 200 AGL and 500 knots CAS. At IP we need to ensure that we change our steer point to the target steer point. In this case it's going to be 99, and we need to reset any offset on our slew. We also need to be on the flight line for deconfliction and for coordinated attack and coming off target. We're going to need to turn close to steer 6 to our target steer point. Once we configure for speed and altitude, the run-in is straightforward, watching our distance counting down. We'll get in at about 5 miles or 6 miles, we'll get our pre-release cue, flashing circle, and at that stage we press and hold the pickle button in. Then we roll down to between 4 miles. When we hit the 4.0 miles, we should be pulling up to smooth continuous pull up to 20 degrees. And at some stage, we should get weapons release. We need to listen for it and then dive away to starboard and back down to low level altitude, roll out on a heading of 269 and off target until we hit 8 miles distance from target, roll back in, same procedure, pickle at between 3 and 4 miles, and this time we're egressing towards home plate, a turn to port. That's the outline. They're the steps we need to be taking, so we're ready to fly now, and I'm going to enter the pit. Okay, we're in the pit now and we're at high altitude, so I'm going to start ascending, chop throttle and start to configure the aircraft. On our sensor panel we need to put the altimeter on, radar altimeter, and we need to go to radar altitude. Let's roll out onto our heading. I'm going to switch to air to ground mode and bring up our SMS page. We're going to change our ripple rate to 1, and we're going to change it to singles. A quick check of our arming delay and our burst altitude there. We don't need burst altitude, it's just the arming delay. It's important. It's 1 second. And back to our main page. We're going to remove our TGP to clean up our DEDs or our MFCDs, and back to HSD. We're gone off the target, we're gone off the track now a little bit, so I need to be pulling back on. We'd normally be at much lower altitude if we were starting earlier, but for the it's coming down on altitude, and master arm to on. And check our off heading is, it's at 269 degrees. Okay, rolling on to steer point 6. We're going quite quickly now. Coming down in altitude. I'm going to set our allow to 100. So we're bitched at if we go down too low in altitude or too aggressively. Getting close now, so I'm going to set up for steer point 99, and I'll press the enter switch in a second when we're ready to turn. Okay, enter now, and we're turning. Hard turn to keep us on that flight line. Maintaining low altitude and starting to bring up our speed. Target altitude is 200. Altitude. And terrain is going to alter that as we traverse it. Coming back down again, not pushing too hard on the stick, we don't want any negative G. Speed is up a little bit at 512. Distance to target is the thing we need to be watching now. It's 17, and we need to be making sure our flight path markers on the bomb fall line. And thumb ready for the pickle button. 15 miles, still a way to go. Make sure our CZ switch is neutral, is reset, and finally we should have had that up to 10 miles and centered on the HSD. Final check on the off angle, it's 269. 480 pulling up in speed, 11 miles now.
Altitude. Altitude.
Okay, 9.1 miles.
Pull up. Pull up. Altitude. Altitude.
Pull back a little bit in speed. Leveling up now. 6.3 miles. So we should be getting pre-release soon. Okay, 5.3 miles pre-release. Press and hold and pickle in now. 4.4, 4.3, 4.2, 4.1. Okay, pulling up now. Pushing on the throttle a little bit. Bomb away. Flares. One shack off to the north, or off to the west. So I'm rolling out 269. Back down to low altitude. And now our distance to target we need to watch, and I'm going to reset our steer point to 98 for the next run in. Maintain a reasonably high speed, doesn't have to be at the 500 knots. .6 miles. Okay, 8.1, that's good enough. Let's roll back in. Again, it's a hard turn to roll in to get back on the ingress line. Bringing the altitude down. Gone a little bit far, so I'm going to offset a little bit. Now back onto the target line. Pushing up in speed. 7.8 miles. And now we need to be coming off at 006 to the north. Okay, pre-release cue is coming up now. Pickle and holding and pickle button in. 4.1 miles. Pulling up. I was a little bit off there. Okay, rolling out. Okay, one's off to the north.
Caution.
One's off to the north. Don't forget to reset your cat switch. Okay, let's just roll back around and have a quick look. Yeah, we can see something on fire down there, so it looks good. And we're going to just have a quick look at our briefing now. Let's exit. Okay, let's have a quick look at the briefing here. And we can see we've got 2 items destroyed, and then we exited as Panther 3-1. So that's pretty much an outline of how to do the loft attack. I hope you found this useful, and feel free to make comments in the comments section. Until next time, Fish signing out.